Good evening, everyone. I am Mark, your fat friend.
And I am James, your black friend.
And this is the Fat and Black Connection,
where we talk about anything and everything as long as it's interesting to us.
For shizzle dizzle.
The big Snoop Dizzle.
Nice shirt.
Yeah, man. I saw you wearing yours, so I was like, "Oh, let me put mine on."
How you doing?
I'm rested. Well rested.
Well, that's good. It is September 24th, 2025. It is 8:03 p.m. Pacific.
Yes. Excellent.
We are live.
We are live. We are also interactive.
So how you doing?
I'm all right, man.
What you been up to?
Man, just recovering. trying to get everything back set and ready for the work week.
Yeah. Why were you so busy? What was going on?
Man, Kaboom-Con weekend, baby.
Yes, Kaboom-Con was this last weekend indeed.
Yeah.
How'd it go?
This one was tough. It's tough. But hopefully the ones that showed up seemed to have a good time, so that was good.
For show.
Got to reconnect with, see some people you don't get to see all the time. So the dynamic duo, father and son duo of Diego and Lawrence, got to hang out with them. Jam the artist, got to see him again. It's been a while. JD Charisma, I hadn't seen that man it's been a couple years, so it's nice to catch up with him. Oh, and my man Brian Silver, man, I didn't even know he was coming, and so that was cool that he was there. Getting to see, Steven, you again, Brent and Chris. It's nice seeing them. Mur, from Figure X. Good to see him. Mar. I keep saying Mar. It was good seeing him out there. got to meet some new people like Odin. That man, what he what he did on stage was crazy. Um, the the Reno video game symphony jazz ensemble was awesome.
They
The
were
anime
tight.
or huh?
They were tight.
Yeah, the orchestra, the anime orchestra was also very awesome. Um, 2 days of really good cosplay contests. Um, and it was nice because it was two. I mean, you had different different things on different day, and it was that yeah, that was pretty amazing. Um, some of the panels that I actually, one of them which we were a part of, that was fun. I got to kind of take a look in on one of the other panels, but yeah, um, it was good. Could have been way better.
Yeah. It's interesting. When we did our Kaboom-Con last year, we did it a couple weeks earlier than we did this year,
Hmm.
and part of the reason that we moved was due to far too many competing events.
Right.
So when we were looking at making the move, we looked at what was out there from an annual perspective, because sometimes there's one-offs and there's just nothing you can do about that. But looking at it from an annual perspective, and at the time when we booked last year for these dates, there was only one other event on the books competing. It's hard. Some events like Dayton Valley Days, it kind of floats around. It switches its date. It's not consistent.
Hmm.
That the air show that happened in Carson over the weekend again switches its date. It's not consistent. So there are some things you just can't plan for. The art show that happened up in Reno, that was basically a direct competitor to us, was not planned at the time that we booked.
Hmm.
So I get that some people think they know how to Monday, I guess Tuesday now, quarterback. Uh, at you have to make the best decisions you can at the time with the information you have.
Yeah, and at the
Hindsight's
time,
fantastic, but
yeah, like that's the thing is that that we were checking to make sure that what was going on. So that's why we then again, I mean, I would remember when we chose to do those dates. I was like, okay, that makes sense to move it around so that therefore we can make sure that we're not competing against. We had like last year we had the hot air balloon race and we had the camel
camel
races
races,
and we had
Pride in Reno.
yeah, so there was a bunch of different stuff going on. So it's like, all right, cool. Those are kind of locked in. Those kind of happen around the same time every year. So if we move it back, give you had a week in between. Excuse me. Had a week in between, and then our event. We were really hoping to capitalize, but apparently things popped up. I mean, hell, there was even the car show that had. So there was like the farmers market, which wasn't a big deal. That actually kind of helped us in a way. Um, but then the car show that was happening in the parking lot, like right there, that did not help.
No.
Plus, there was also the dog thing at the pool. We had some people come over from that, checking see what was going on at the facility, and came in that way. Um, but yeah.
So I pushed out a survey to the vendors and attendees and stuff like that. Anybody that we had their contact. Um, it's still open, still available through September 30th. Um, Anybody who does take the survey that was an actual attendee, um, and or vendor that we can validate, obviously, um, will be able to receive 25% off either our next event's ticket or a booth. So we haven't established dates or anything, but we will. Part of filling out the survey is you do have to put in your name and your email address. So once we do, start figuring out what's next, um, you will receive that, probably promo code or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. We want your help. You know.
Yeah. So I will say the response to the survey has already been pretty good.
Okay.
I pushed it out to over 200 people,
Yeah.
or 200 email addresses, I should say.
Right.
We've already had 50 responses. Now, I will say some of the responses I think are duplicated, and I think some of the responses are, I guess, I don't want to say fake because I want to take everything at face value, but we got Steve checking in.
Yeah.
Howdy, I'm working on editing the photos and actually about to finish. That's great to hear. Steve did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
He was everywhere, man.
Yeah.
I was so impressed. You did fantastic. Thank you for being there. We greatly appreciate you, and I look forward to the assets that you're going to provide. I saw some of the stills, and it was like, oh man, like there was this one of JD Charisma, and it was like, oh, that's fire. So
Yeah, he was definitely all over the place, and hopefully we should get the stuff from Jameson soon too.
Yeah, Jameson, who was really there a lot for Icy Sound Comics, and
Yeah, he was taking video of pretty much every. He took at least video of pretty much everything that was going on while he was there.
Yeah, we got some press coverage, which was nice. I wish it would have been on Saturday instead of Sunday. Absolutely, we appreciate you, and we understand the passion.
Yeah,
and I could see it.
Absolutely.
It was nice. We had Channel 2 News come out and they did a little segment. I will say, there's if you watch it, it was kind of rough, frankly. The young lady who came out and actually did the footage and talked with me and stuff, she was great. She but she was not the one that
did the story. Yeah, the girl, the newscaster that did the story was very.
So there was this thing that happened in Carson.
Yeah, she was very. I don't. She was the.
It sounded like she might have been sick, but it's like
she was the least lively news anchor I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was pretty rough, but we appreciate the coverage, absolutely.
Yeah.
But maybe next year let's do something ahead of time.
Yeah, we did have. I mean, Jimmy Jones did the interview. I think the
with
day
Colo 8,
the morning, the day before.
I think it was Wednesday. No, it was Tuesday. It was the day you flew in.
Yeah, so he did that Tuesday. Wish we could have done something else, but it was all good.
Well, and Jimmy and I did a radio show a week or so before, maybe 2 weeks before. Okay. And by radio show, I don't mean Pop Culture Kaboom. I mean a separate radio show.
Yeah.
So, the interesting thing is one of the complaints I've seen from a couple people is that we should have done more promotions. And I'm not sure what they mean by that. I love when people just throw out a complaint without a potential solution. It's not helpful.
Yeah. So, I mean, the thing was, we had, I don't know. You had a lot of flyers and those were out.
Yeah. We had flyers, banners. We had all over the community. We spent quite a bit of money on marketing, social media, and other advertising.
Visit Carson City was doing
their thing. So, at the end of the day, I think anybody who does their research will find that conventions nationwide are down. This is just a fact. I said this on Pop Culture Kaboom Sunday night when I was on after Kaboom-Con finished. I think the market is oversaturated.
There are a lot,
and I think one of the things that's happening a lot is people are putting these cons together and bringing in huge headline names and stuff, and then and again, you can research this and see that it's true. They're not able to pay these people. Jimmy on his show recently talked about an event that happened. I can't remember where, But they are hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt
Yeah,
because they made these guarantees to this talent.
and they did people didn't show, and so
Yep.
therefore they did not meet that, and so you
Yeah.
know.
The thing that I would say that I think probably is the most disappointing thing to me is we really are trying to build a community event. We're
Mhm.
not trying to be the biggest, the flashiest, bringing in the headliners, things of that nature. We are really trying to build something that supports the local community from a vendor standpoint, artist standpoint,
Mhm.
uh, but also just the attendee citizens
Yeah.
standpoint. That's why we brought in the people we brought in as special guests. For example, the event that was happening up in Reno, while they said it was free, it really wasn't. The moment you got through the door, you had to pay for everything. You wanted somebody to sign something, you had to pay for it. You wanted to talk to somebody, you had to pay for it. You wanted to take a photo with them, you had to pay for it.
It's
Well, with
crazy.
with us at Kaboom-Con, if you wanted to meet legendary artist Brent Anderson, uh,
Uh,
he wanted to meet you and
all
talk.
he had to do is show up.
Yeah,
He would talk. He like both him and Chris, both of them talk shop with you all day.
Donna Gio, same thing. Kenny Eichen, all of them. All of our guests. David Gonzalez from Return of the Jedi.
Yeah,
All of our guests that were
he was a
there.
lot of fun too.
Yeah, he was. They wanted to, I think, genuinely spend time talking to you. And at some of these cons, you don't have that
Mhm.
opportunity. It's turn and burn.
Yeah, I mean, like I remember I went to the very first Silicon Valley Comic Con. I think they changed it. I think they changed the name of it. Um, but
Galaxy Con.
Oh, is that what it is now? Okay, yeah. So like the very first year, it was like I said, it was the very first year for it, Silicon Valley Comic Con. There was a lot. There was a lot going on, um, and I do remember one of the girls that was in our group. She went to Jeremy Renner was there, so she wanted to go meet Jeremy Renner. So she paid for that. That was so like they had Shatner, and I remember Shatner was there. Renner was there. I can't remember anybody else that was there at that time. But like even like for Shatner, I mean, literally it was like you had like your get like if you had something you wanted to give him, they pretty much were like don't for the most part. Like don't do like if you have something fine, whatever. And then like it was basically you come up, say hey, and then you take your picture and then bye. You don't get to ask him anything. You just cool, you're done.
Turn and burn.
And so like that's something that we wanted to make sure that we didn't do. We wanted to make sure that you got an opportunity to actually, if these are people that you idolize or grew up reading or seeing their work. I remember one of the vendors, a matter of fact, she was a big fan of Brent Anderson's, and she actually was like, "Hey, I had this piece of art that I wanted to give you," and he was like, "Oh man!" And I mean, the time that he took to look at it, I was standing there with Figure X at the time, but the time he actually looked at it and like really like was looking at the details in it and everything else. It was a poison ivy drawing that she had made, and it was pretty dope. Just from what I saw, but like the time that he actually took to look at it and really kind of admire her work. And then she was like, I just wanted to give this to you. And then it was like, and he was like, all right, well, why don't we're gonna trade prints. And she geeked out, bro.
Mhm.
Like if I had it on video, I totally would send it to her and make sure like because she was like, oh my god, I'm trading prints with Brent Anderson. Like she was totally geeking out. And that's something that you're not gonna be able to get at these other cons, man, because it's all about like Mark said, it's all about that turn and burn.
Mhm.
So we wanted to make sure we had something that's a little bit more special.
So I want to go through some of the thoughts on the survey, just because I think it's important for us, you and I, to take into account some of the people's thoughts. Um,
Wait. Before we do that,
yeah,
we need to try these cookies. We've
you
been
haven't actually tried one yet.
no. I
Okay.
I literally waited. I waited for the show.
Okay, so James left me a couple here at the homestead.
These were apple pie a la mode cream Oreos.
Interesting.
It smells like apple pie. Kind of, and I can kind of smell the vanilla ice cream. So yeah,
it smells more. I don't really pick up apple scent. I really
mean,
get
like,
cream and vanilla, but I guess let's see.
yeah. I definitely taste the apple.
It's nice because it's
A little bit of the ice cream at the end.
there's a little bit of that like cinnamon hint that
Mhm.
you know that mixture you use with apple pie.
Yeah. As far as flavored Oreos go, these are really good. I like these.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of apple pie, but I like these. I think they're definitely not my favorite Oreos, but they're good.
Yeah.
So
Anyway,
so
on the survey.
survey, for full transparency, part of the survey is information that we needed to collect for Visit Carson City, because they want to know
Where you came from.
Yeah, where you came from. Did you stay in a hotel? How many nights were you here? So on and so forth. And so I incorporated those. And so I'm just going to read through what the questions were. I'm not going to read every response.
Right.
So how many people were in your party? How many times have you visited Carson City in the last 12 months? Did you stay overnight during Kaboom-Con? If yes, how many nights? Where did you stay? If it was a hotel, motel, what was the
sorry?
what was the name of the property? What other activities did you do around Carson? Did you also visit any other towns during your trip? How did you hear about Kaboom-Con? What did you like most about Kaboom-Con? What would you like to see done differently in the future? Which Kaboom-Con activities or areas did you participate in? On a scale from 1 to 5, how would you rate your overall experience? What's your home zip code? What age group best describes you? How did you attend Kaboom-Con? So this was, were you a vendor, an artist, a guest? How likely are you to attend Kaboom-Con again on a scale from 1 to 5? Would you recommend Kaboom-Con to a friend? Yes or no? What types of guest panels or activities would you most like to see added in the future? And then any additional comments?
Okay.
So let's look at what would you do differently in the future? Sorry, let's start with what did you like most about Kaboom-Con?
Yeah.
I got to meet other vendors. Three Arrows Games, comic vendors. Everyone was so nice. Nothing. Cool vendors and small town feel. I enjoy being able to go to a local Comic-Con. It was fun and an enthusiastic crowd. The vendors were very talented and kind people. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to do much outside of the vendors area due to being at my table solo. It's always fun to meet other vendors. It's nice to be creating and trying to grow more cons local to such a small area. We need these kinds of things around us, even if we eventually outgrow the space and have to move to a neighboring town or event center. The vendor area. I loved the cosplay contest, especially because it's not a big deal like bigger conventions. I enjoyed talking to the cosplayers and showcasing myself on stage through my costume. Staff was very supportive, and those that attended were very grateful to be there. I love being able to meet and buy from local artists. We also enjoyed the panel we attended. It was really small, quiet, and fun. I hope it gets bigger in the future, and I loved all the passionate people. Simple and homey. Costume contest, unique vendors, and location. Kaboom-Con has potential to be that well-regarded little local convention. The vibes of other vendors was good. The vendors were friendly and the panels were good. It was great to see such a variety for both. All the volunteers were wonderful. The announcements helped. Also enjoyed the live music. The Star Trek chair was cool. Nick's stunt booth was the best. I was at Kaboom-Con both this year and last year. There were only two good things about Kaboom-Con this year. The author panel with Jimmy and Rob was amazing, and I got to connect with other phenomenal vendors. Great artists, vendors, and booths. The other vendors were friendly, accommodating. The outdoor security guard was amazing. Just testing this survey out. Not sure there was a most nice meeting new people, whether it was attending or the other vendors, a wide variety of booths and sellers. The dance was fun once people started to dance. The people were nice. The green room for guests was awesome. The hotel was also nice. The amount of cosplay contests was also fun. I can tell that you're trying to create something special and fun for the community with the various events outside of the con. Loved the panels and the special comic guests. Food selection was also great. Movie props from Odin Makes, Dreamwell comic Star Trek chair and Terror Dog group with Vigo painting and dog.
Yeah.
Comic vendors, the artists, local, affordable, fun. We enjoyed the intimate nature of this convention. It's the kind of event where vendors and guests can easily visit one another's booths and connect. The one-on-one time you get to spend with attendees is fantastic, and you really get a chance to talk with people.
Mm-hmm.
Opportunity to check out the city and socialize with new and known other vendors. Vendors were nice. Costumes were great. That it's held indoors. I can walk to it. There were a lot of great vendors, most of which will not be returning because there were no attendees. Everything was awesome. Got some prints and books and pics from a few returning comic vendors. I believe I became better friends with them. I really enjoyed the panels and getting to meet other vendors. I also enjoyed many of the costumes that showcased people's creativity. The fun everyone was having, meeting some great people, seeing the local creators. I think advertising local talent would be a big boost. Nothing. HH. I enjoyed the booths, the art, and some of the cosplay. I really like the focus of multiple things to do aside from the normal cosplay contests and panels, the food trucks outside and the party, the Friday night after setup. It creates a different experience that isn't the case with other cons. It feels the right size, not too big, not too small, perfect size, almost done. The safety and cleanliness of the con space was great, friendliness of everyone. This show did everything right from my standpoint. A lot of showrunners really don't put in the work like Mark and his team did. It's really strange. The turnout was so low. This show has a ton of potential, and I hope to come back to it next year. And what did Steve say? I need James to come up with drinking rules for reading these reviews. Steve, you don't need a reason to drink. Just drink. It's okay.
Yeah. Sippy, sippy here, sippy, sippy there.
So that was the what did you like most? What do you want to hear next? What do you like? What would you like to see done differently?
What was the next one down?
That would be the next one. What would you like to see done differently in the future?
Let's keep moving. Let's move down.
And ladies and gentlemen, this is pretty much what this show is going to be tonight. Just kind of a post-mortem talking about, what people thought, because it's important that we at least spend the time to acknowledge what people thought, good, bad, and indifferent, because that's the only way we can get better.
Yeah.
So in general, it sounds like from the good side, it sounded like people really liked the vendors, the smallness of the event, that it gave them the ability to engage and take the time to really enjoy who was there.
Absolutely.
And it sounds like from a vendor perspective as well, they kind of like that ability to make connections. Now, of course, I'm sure as we get into these next couple things, it'll be more of a would have liked to see more people there.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Us too.
so what would you like to see done differently in the future? Literally everything. This was one of the most disappointing events I've ever been to. Okay. More useful signage. That's fair.
Yeah.
Have an atmosphere available. More picture spots.
Huh?
I'm not sure what they mean by have an atmosphere available. I mean, more picture spots. I understand what I think that means. Photo ops, things of that nature. Which compared to last year, we had significantly more.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess continuing to work in that direction.
Yeah.
Non-AI art and less empty tables, signage for all rooms. Non-AI art. I'm not aware of any AI art.
No, me neither.
And if somebody had made me aware, I would have handled that because we very specifically in the application said no AI art was allowed.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm not sure what that means. Signage for all rooms. That's fair.
Yeah. I mean, we kind of hastily threw it together. One for Artist Alley. I didn't realize that we didn't have one, but
yeah. Well, I mean, we didn't have one for the gym either. You know, I think part of the issue there is it was a new room that we didn't use last year, and it could easily be missed. So,
yeah.
you know, more food truck options. Would love to do that. I mean, we were giving spaces away to food trucks to get them to come. So
yeah, and we had some that showed up, and then there was one or two or whatever that due to sickness they weren't able to come, and
another one blew out a tire.
Yeah, so then it was I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. Title shot, fire.
Lady Grillers.
Fire. Yo, Lady Grillers was awesome too. So if you live up that way and you can visit either one of those, actually even Metal Chicken Kitchen, that one was good. They came on Friday night. Unfortunately, they were working the I guess they ended up signing up for the car show, and they were supposed to come back on Sunday, but didn't. But like Title Shot Cafe was there all weekend, and the paninis, like I can't remember the guy's name, but his son was making the paninis, and fire, absolute fire. I had one of the ones that's not on the menu. I believe it's called the Hurricane. It has like all the meats on there, cheese, panini press. It's delicious. And then I know I had fries from I can't remember the vendor that were awesome. Your mom also had fries from them. She had like the cheese fries that had like pulled pork and stuff on them. Those were amazing. Just so the vendors that did show up, thank you guys. 1, 2, you know, we like the food was amazing that you guys provided. So we thank you for that.
Absolutely. Next up, an easier to locate event schedule for the day. I had no idea what time the cosplay contest was until I arrived, and it was too late.
Well,
it was on the website.
It was on the website.
It was on Eventany.
We had
it was on social medias.
Yeah, and if you showed up, I mean, we had the flyers, we had the posters for the.
I mean, well, they're saying this one says, you know, they didn't know until they arrived. So I take that to mean. So I'm not sure what else.
Yeah.
would have liked.
Although day 2, the posters, I didn't see posters for the gym.
For the theater.
I mean, not for the gym, for the theater, the stage.
Yeah, so that was because our vendor, I didn't. Shame on me. I'll take onus here. I did not open up every single 24x36 poster. They, you know, as you saw, I think we had 18 or 20 of them that
I remember
arrived. So we had ordered 2 for day 1, 2 for day 2 of both rooms.
Mm-hmm.
For the theater, they sent me 4 of day 1.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So that's okay. That's what happened.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm hoping you. So again, what would you like to see done differently in the future? I'm hoping you can build the attendance and keep it going. We'd like to see that as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that's I mean, that was the biggest question. We were trying to figure out what else we could do. I mean, we like I said, we talked about at the beginning of the show, we did Mark and Jimmy did radio interview. Jimmy showed up on Channel 8. We ended up having the thing on Sunday, but on Channel 2, but that would have been nice, at least the Friday or
Now,
Saturday
to
at
be fair,
least.
Channel 2 did post on Saturday about us,
Oh,
but they didn't come out and do
until
until
Sunday.
Sunday.
Yeah. So I mean, and just the little those, and then I mean, like the thing is that you can only do so much. Like we made and that's one of the things too that we did. We made the tickets very affordable for this event.
I thought so, but let's keep going through these.
Anyway, yeah, let's keep going.
Advertising, getting the word out about the event. I didn't hear much outside of already followed social media accounts. Where again, this is where give me a problem without a solution. Where do you think we should be advertising? That would be helpful because we were advertising on radio, on television, on social media, multiple different platforms, through Eventbrite where the ticket sales were happening, through Eventany where vendor signups and stuff were happening. So
do we have like a TikTok thing or anything? I don't know.
We do have a TikTok and posted many of the things that we posted on other.
Okay.
So,
yeah. So I don't know TikTok that well, but
I don't either. But I don't think that would have made or broke it.
Yeah.
Next up, I was actually a vendor at this event. As last year was amazing and great. But even before the fire happened last year, the attendance did slow down earlier. I feel like maybe the community center isn't the best bet for this event. And I went to another event on the same evening at Fuji Park. It was packed with people. Maybe a park is an option to do something like this, as it appears even last year a lot of people didn't show up for the showings or any of that. Maybe bring the community more involved, have like martial arts come do performances or local dance come do performances, make it more of a community Comic-Con opposed to just the Kaboom-Con. I also heard that the Reno location had a Comic-Con that had thousands of people because it was a free event, and then you just paid for other extra stuff. But I also feel like the vendor booth fees were really high this year. I paid $400 for my booth and didn't even make back that, so it hurt to do a free Comic-Con at a park like Fuji Park, or even moving it to Reno. I also feel like the vendor booth fees were. Oh, I already said that part. I know you guys worked hard, but it was kind of a blow this year. We also had the same artist this year as last year, so I feel that many people didn't come because they already met the same artist last year. I assume that the reference there is to Brent and Chris, but those were the only two.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure
who else.
We brought in a lot of new people.
Yeah, because Don was new.
Unless they're talking about vendors, then
we did have some of the same vendors, but yeah, no. But as far as special guests go, like those were the only two that we had. Oh no, I mean Steven was there, but he paid for his booth last year.
Next thing, easy. Do not allow vendors who are simply huge businesses looking to promote themselves further, i.e., AT&T, window people who I know keep getting allowed into our cons, Salvation Army, etc. As an artist and small business owner, these do not have a place among the vendors or Artist Alley. They are not selling anything but annoyances to people who are not there for them in any capacity. If they are to be allowed at such an event, they need to be placed outside or elsewhere from the artists and actual small business vendors who are there for the reasons the guests want. Same goes for anyone selling MLM pyramid scheme type products. I have not seen them at Kaboom-Con both years, thankfully, but I have seen them take spots in other conventions and events. AI art also should be absolutely banned. One more note for us vendors, we love the 3D print vendors. Many of them, unfortunately, peddle the same free print files at absurd prices while not crediting or getting legal cell use from the creators versus 3D print vendors who actually license or create their own models to sell.
It was a lot.
Next, charge less for vendor area only. I came with the intention to look for anime items. While the array of items was nice, I will not be joining next year for the same entry fee. I do enjoy cosplay and other activities. I feel cheaper a la carte options to do different events would bring more guests. So in essence, what they're saying is maybe just let me into the gym for $5 instead of having access to everything, is how I interpret what they're saying there.
But then how are we supposed to stop you? How are you? Because you could
Door monitors,
no.
I guess.
Yeah, I guess that's.
I would really love to see more cosplay related activities and panels. It would be fun to have a few cosplay meetups in a specific room or maybe at Mills Park, and specific themes for cosplays, anime or specific anime, movie, TV, superheroes, Disney, video game, etc.
It's funny because we did that last year and it didn't work out. So
Yeah, we did that last year and people told us they didn't like it.
Yeah, so I think
unless they're meaning one of the cosplay contests is specifically themed around Disney. That's it. Don't compete unless you're going to do Disney. If that's what they mean. I think scheduling. I'm interested and willing to run a short cosplay panel myself if it becomes available. I think scheduling would also be nice since it occurred during the weekend of a free art cosplay con event in Reno. I think more wanted to attend that over Kaboom-Con. A physical program and or maps. Folks frequently asked where to go for their interested event. Fair? Our biggest disappointment was that we bought the Dynamite Pass and decided to attend Sunday because we wanted to attend a couple of the Sunday panels, then check out vendors afterward. Even though there were a couple hours left in the event, many of the vendors were already packing up. If we had known that would happen, we would have come on Saturday as well. I expected that the hours of the event were the hours the vendors would be available. If it's different, that needs to be communicated. The panels and events could be better marketed. I would like it if the descriptions were more focused on being informative about what's happening and what the value is to the attendee than the entertainment value of the descriptions themselves. If there's an area like Artist Alley, it would be nice to have something very noticeable to draw attention, huge stand-up sign, maybe lights, etc. It took us a while to find it, and I worry that others may not have realized it was there. We only looked for it because it was mentioned during the panel we attended. Okay. Nothing. Changes will happen with time. Not as crammed. More marketing to get attendance. I feel the ticket entry price is very high on Sundays, especially since there was not a lot going on. After spending $100 to get in the door, it took away from the money I would spend on vendors at that point, and that's all there was left to do after the costume contest. However, with that said, we enjoy it very much and rest easy knowing money goes back into next year. I mean, one person didn't spend $100. We didn't have a ticket that was $100. So I'm assuming that was for a family or a group of people.
Yeah, because I mean the thing is too is that like the fact the one couple earlier about a dynamite pass and you only used it for one day is like the reason for the dynamite pass was to come to
Everything.
everything.
The
That's the
movie.
reason that we sold the dynamite pass.
Yeah, and if you just bought the Dynamite Pass because you really wanted to financially support the event, we appreciate that.
Thanks.
But
yeah.
the difficulty with conventions in general is the vendors by the end of Sunday, or the last day, whatever it is,
Tired.
they're tired. Even if it's a great event, I mean, I've been to fantastic conventions, and by the last 2 to 3 hours of the last day, people start packing up. And I'm not saying it's right, but it is a thing, and it's unfortunate, and it's hard to monitor. And I can't make people stay. What I can do is not have them back. And those are things that we definitely take into account when we're looking at future events. Is this a vendor we want to have come back or not? Because just because you apply doesn't mean you're getting it.
All right, and I mean, I think like I said, it's one of those things that there was 2 days. I mean, like if you could, for some reason, you couldn't show up Saturday, come early on Sunday, man. Like get there like at the beginning so you can get in and you can see all this because everything was open Sunday morning. All the vendors were still there Sunday morning, and then like Salem checking in.
We left hours early because we weren't selling anything and hardly anyone was there. I can't argue that. I mean, I can only say that to the point that the person was making is, it would have been nice for them to be able to come at any point, whether it was Saturday at the very beginning or Sunday at the very end, and see the
same vendors.
And I get their point, and I don't disagree with their point. It's just I recognize, from the vendor perspective, you're tired, and if you're financially not doing great, then if you can get out of there a little bit earlier, get on the road, especially if you're traveling.
Yeah, and I mean the thing is too is that depending on how much stuff you got, that's why you start breaking down early because you're like, I got a bunch of stuff. I need to make sure I get, I start breaking stuff down now, so I'm not sitting here hours after the fact.
Yeah, and I will tell you, there was one vendor, and ultimately one of the things that we have to do is collect the sales tax for all the vendors, right? Well, I should say the ones that aren't registered with the state already.
Right.
And so I can, I can say that there were some vendors that did immensely well financially. Now, maybe it wasn't great to them, but comparatively, there were many vendors that I can tell you their sales were significantly greater than the cost for them being at the show. So now there were some other vendors where if what they reported is true, then no, they didn't do well at all.
Right.
And I mean, me, like I feel bad genuinely that we didn't have more of a turnout.
Yeah, because the thing is, that's what we expected to have more people there because we had a bunch of people the year before, like say, oh, we definitely coming back, blah blah. So yeah, I don't know if this other thing in Reno, they decided to go to that instead, but
Next up, maybe have more enticing ticket prices. Better advertising and news coverage to ensure more people attend. The people in the community, restaurants, coffee shops, the hotel didn't seem to know about it. More enticing ticket prices. Okay. Better advertising. I don't know what more we could have done there. News coverage. I can't control that. I can tell you that I pushed out press releases to all of the radio stations and television stations in the area multiple times throughout the year. Once when we first kicked off to announce the dates, again about halfway through when we started ticket sales, and again about 6 weeks out from the event. So I can't force media to cover us.
Yeah.
So I don't know about what to say there. People in the community, restaurants, coffee shops, hotels. I mean, I can tell you that Carson specifically was pretty well canvassed. So I can't say that we spoke with every single employee at every single place,
Yeah.
but again, I don't know what more we could do there. My vendor experience was very bad this year. For one, there wasn't a lot of transparency in being a vendor, and were also some flat out lies. I paid early to secure a spot as a vendor and received a returning vendor price. I have since learned that there was no discount for returning vendors at all, so this special price was a blatant lie. The event was also marketed as a 3-day event, which also turned out to not be true. It was never marketed as a 3-day event. It was 3 days of activities.
Mm-hmm.
Additionally, there was no communication that the movie and masquerade ball were not included in my vendor price until the day before. That's also not true. Where Mark emailed us to let us know that we had to pay an additional $20 to partake in these activities. I also learned much later that some panel speakers gifted their vendor spots they did not pay in exchange for speaking at Kaboom-Con and advertising. That's also not true.
Yeah.
This opportunity was not extended to all panelists, which has left a very bad taste in my mouth. The dishonesty and lack of transparency absolutely must be addressed for any vendors to continue with Kaboom-Con in the future. Additionally, the artist alley was abysmally small. There was no signage to let people know where we were located, and I heard rumors, though I cannot confirm, that generative AI was used in official Kaboom-Con marketing and promotional materials. Many vendors also reported Mark was flat out rude to them during the event. Low turnout events happened, and I can look past that. I have much harder time looking past lies and disrespect. Well, I can tell you that everything you've said here is inaccurate. I don't know what to tell you. The paying early for a returning vendor special price. The price that people paid after was higher. The event marketed as a 3-day event. We never marketed it as a 3-day event. We said it was a 2-day convention with a movie screening on the Friday before. Multiple times we said that the vendor pass was for the convention only. I was trying to offer the other events for an additional $20 to see if vendors would want to come, but nobody had even said anything. No panelists or speakers were gifted their spots in exchange for marketing or speaking.
Yeah.
Now we did have some special guests that
Mhm.
were gifted their spaces,
Right.
because they were special guests. And some of them also did speak.
Yeah, but it wasn't because they spoke. It was because they were going to be there. We added them to the panel or whatever. It wasn't.
Yeah, we also had multiple panelists that weren't gifted, quote unquote, their spaces.
Yeah.
We had some panelists that paid for their spaces and were still on panels.
Mm-hmm.
This is where, I get frustrated, because it's like, why don't you come talk to us if you're thinking, if you're hearing these things, or these are the thoughts you're having?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
We can have the conversation right then and there. Yeah. Next up, no suggestions. Okay. Food trucks and outdoor vendors should be in the front lot if there are less than 10 between both. Food trucks and outdoor vendors should be in the front lot. What's the front lot?
Like where people were parking? We can't have people there because that would take up parking spaces.
Yeah, I guess I just don't know what the front lot is perceptionally. Like,
we were trying to see if we could have people on the grass and stuff, but that was just not feasible at the time.
There were also no signs or indication that anything existed in the back lot. leaving the food trucks and vendors at the mercy of hoping someone told them to check out the back. Okay, so they're saying the front lot is the main parking lot we had.
Yeah.
I have done other events at that exact location, and they choose to do food trucks and vendors in the front lot, which forced foot traffic. If vendors need to be placed in the west lot, there should be plenty of bright, large signs encouraging foot traffic to that direction. Also heard many complaints of the entry price. Email coming soon.
And also this event price was actually better than most.
Well, it's not better than free.
It's not better than free, yeah, but it's better than some cons that you're going to go to.
More better vendors.
More better vendors. All right.
Admission overpriced for the experience. Silver Age Con in Reno was same, cheaper admission and 10 times bigger. Not true.
Not true.
More expensive. Venue not very handicap friendly. I can't argue.
That one. Yeah.
Too many stairs to manage for a person with a disability walking. Okay, I mean, I can't disagree. There is a lift that could have been used. There are ramps throughout the facility, but I do disagree. It's not the most
handicap accessible.
Yeah,
there are ramps and things, but the problem is that they're not. They're kind of far and few between that too. Yeah.
Get more people to attend. Okay.
Cool. Thanks.
Keep the event to one day. Heard there was some anime signing in Reno on Saturday that attracted a huge crowd. Get those kind of guests at Kaboom to increase attendance.
Well, also, it's just we wanted to make sure that we, like a lot of them wanted an exorbitant amount of money.
Well, and that's what people don't realize is, getting... So I'll peel back the curtain because I don't care. Some of those people that were at the event in Reno, their minimum cost is usually around $5,000.
Yeah,
plus travel, meaning you have to pay for their flight, their hotel, okay. So how do you think that those things get paid for? Well, that's either the vendors have to pay for it through their booth spaces, or the attendees pay for it through the ticket prices.
Yeah.
So we're trying to keep things as low cost as possible. And that's part of why we're not bringing in that kind of talent that wants, frankly, in my opinion, more than what they're worth.
Yeah.
And it's a balancing act, but for every, $5,000+ person I bring in, I would have to offset that cost through tickets or through
vendor space.
So yeah. Cosplay contest cannot be held that early in the day, or people won't sign up, will be late, and have late entries. Dedicated pre-judging time before the contest would also be nice, so we aren't rushing.
We did.
More advertising is needed for next year. Also, not holding the event on the same day as other more popular events in the surrounding area would help attendance. Better location for artists would also be awesome, and not having people in the parking lot. Okay. The artist alley room was lame. There was no signage. I think space could have been better utilized in the main room to fit everyone in. No, the fire marshal would have shut us down if we tried to put more than what was in there. I would not do the convention again if I was going to be shoved into a corner. There were no attendees. I would contact Elko and see what they do to get people to their PopCon. I'd like to know, because according to the people I talked to who were at Elko PopCon this year, it was significantly down. That is a smaller community, but people really show up to that. As a local creator, I got excited to sell my books to people from the area, but there was nobody to sell. Everything seemed well put together, but overall, you can't have a convention without attendees. Agreed. I overheard that the artist alley was a little tight for the vendors, perhaps more signage on the grounds to direct guests to various areas. Yeah, I agree. Artist Alley was tight.
Yeah.
You don't, the hard part is sometimes you don't know until you're actually in the space with it set up.
Yeah.
Dimensionally, based on what the facility provided us, saying here are the dimensions of the room, with the spaces that we set up, it didn't seem as tight as it was once we were in there. And,
Yeah.
Um,
Once we got all the booths and stuff in there, but they got tight.
yeah. And this was year 2. This was our first time using that room, and definitely, I think, a learning experience in there.
Yep.
Either lower price to get in. I know a couple of people who didn't go because $20 was a lot for a small venue with barely any bigger guests, or a little higher price and have some bigger names. No disrespect to any guests. They were all cool I talked to, but coming from other cons, they do manage to pull in some D-listers. But I'm aware enough to know that this is only the second one, and it takes time. By the way, we had a great time. It was only 20 at the door. If you bought in advance, it was 15. If you bought the dynamite, it was cheaper. Yes, if you were only coming one day, still you could have saved by buying in advance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yes, I don't disagree, but ultimately we're trying to incentivize people to buy in advance, because one, that helps us with being able to identify, okay, if we know we've got 1,000 tickets sold in advance,
right?
One, that's at $15 a pop, right? That's $15,000. Hey, let's bring in a bigger name person because we have the money to do that,
right?
The one thing I've always tried to stress, and I'll continue to stress, is that we are not doing this to make money. Matter of factuality, full disclosure, we lost money this year.
Mm-hmm.
Just like I know some of the vendors did too. I get it. I understand. But we want to invest into this community and into this show.
That's why we have it there. Like, we could easily do it in Reno.
Mm-hmm.
We could easily do it in Reno, but we decided not to because Jimmy, when we first proposed this con, Jimmy pretty much was like, in Carson? Because Carson doesn't get any of this stuff. Reno gets all this stuff. Carson doesn't.
And Reno's already oversaturated. There are 7 or 8 con pop culture type events, anime, gaming, that are happening throughout the year. Salem says, Mark, I'm happy to talk with you about my experience as a vendor privately. If you are open to it and not going to respond with, I don't know what to tell you, and excuses, if you want to actually have my feedback, I think you could have actionable improvement if there is a next year. Judging by your reactions here, however, I'm not optimistic. I'm going to leave the stream because this is just making me sad all over again. I don't know what to tell you. Things happen. This is just reality. I'm not going to make up excuses. And I'm, I don't have excuses. I only have reality. Let's see. More comic book vendors, more gaming, panels, more actors, artists, etc., more live music. Okay. I guess more comic book vendors, is that like selling comic books?
So we had a number of comic book vendors there.
More gaming. I mean, we had a game room, so I don't know. More panels.
We didn't need any more panels. We already had people weren't showing up to the panels that we had. So
yeah, they weren't really well attended, and the only way to do more panels would be having them overlapping, which we did before last year, and people were not happy about.
Right.
More actors, artists. Okay. A different venue would serve this convention well. Having everyone in the same space rather than spread out across the building would prevent guests and vendors from feeling isolated. It would also keep attendees engaged in exploring, decreasing the chances they will feel they've seen everything and leave early. Furthermore, a more intimate convention like this, placing guests and artists near vendors who share a similar genre or industry could lead to additional and increased sales for those vendors.
Yeah, we tried not to do that because when you have things saturated all together, people have a tendency to go to one thing and then they kind of pass the others by.
Well, and not only that, but if you put, let's say you've got 3 vendors selling Funko Pop
Yeah.
and you put them all together, one, those vendors aren't going to be happy because then they're just having to price out each other.
Right.
And two, having everything grouped together, just looking at other conventions, larger conventions, it's not a common practice. So, yeah.
You want vendors spread out. You again, like you said, you don't want them right on top of each other because that doesn't make any sense.
Not charging for the vendor area to shop. So again, this is saying, just let me into the gym for free, basically. More variety, better signage, better advertising, daily program, lower entry fees. Make attendees aware of what is in each room. I had to poke around to find the game room and the second room of vendors because no one knew about them. Pick a weekend that doesn't have 5 to 7 other high-profile events at the same time. Don't pack your vendors so tight that the fire marshal would have a meltdown. Advertise for people to come attend, charge less for tables. Don't start at 9 a.m. Don't charge extra for vendors to attend the after-hours activities. Charge the same for each booth size, not varying prices for different vendors. So does that mean if you're getting a 10 by 10, you pay the same price as an 8 by 5? More indie comic book creators, or maybe 1 to 2 big name comic book creators. That would be awesome. This is a long one. First off, thank you for all the work you put into the event, and it's clear a lot of heart went into bringing it to life. I wanted to share some feedback I heard from attendees and vendors that might help make future events even stronger. Visibility and signage. Several people mentioned that it was difficult to spot the event from the street. Branded signage on the front of the building would be really helpful for catching attention as people drive by. Ticket pricing. A number of families expressed that the $30 per person ticket price felt too high for what the event offered, especially when add-ons like the Ghostbuster screening and the Ghosts and Ghouls Masquerade Ball came at an extra cost. For example, $30 a head for a family of 4 can add up quickly. Perhaps a lower base price of $10 per person could make
$30.
Yeah, I'm not sure where they got that from. It wasn't $30.
No.
$10 per person could make the event more accessible while still allowing for add-on upgrades. Vendor experience and attendance. Some vendors were disappointed with attendance levels. I think the ticket price may have contributed here. Charging $30 a head in a community like Carson may discourage turnout, which in turn limits spending at vendor booths. Lowering the entry cost could encourage more foot traffic and improve the vendor experience. Panels and programming. The panels were very sparsely attended. This raises the question of whether people are interested in that format or if more could be done to promote them. Another idea might be to consolidate programming onto the main stage rather than spreading it into side rooms, which could help maintain energy and audience flow. Food options. The food trucks outside didn't offer vegetarian options beyond French fries. It might be worth inviting vendors that can provide vegetarian and vegan meals, especially since people are spending the entire weekend on site. To help grow attendance in the future, it might be worth expanding outreach beyond Carson City, Reno, Sparks, Tahoe, Minden, Gardnerville, our close markets with audiences who would likely travel for a pop culture convention, especially if they hear about it through their own channels. Partnering with local organizations, schools, and art groups, working with regional tourism boards and hotels, pitching to Reno-based media and radio shows, and running targeted social media ads outside Carson City could help. You might also consider connecting with cosplay, horror, and sci-fi fan groups online and promoting easy access from Reno via 395 and free parking as selling points. Overall, I think the event has a lot of potential, and these adjustments could really help improve the experience for attendees, vendors, and the community. Thanks again for your efforts. I hope the feedback is useful. Sponsorship, so local vendors can get discounted booths. James, you want to speak to that?
I reached out. A lot of people weren't. They weren't interested. Some couldn't. Others were doing in kind. So basically, like through gift cards and things like that. But yeah, not for a lack of trying, but it was sparse. So.
And some of those sponsors would be, people that were referenced earlier, businesses that aren't artists, aren't, for example, one of the sponsors that we did have was Big Chicken, right? Would you want to see a Big Chicken booth at Kaboom-Con if all they're there is to promote Big Chicken and go buy Big Chicken?
Yeah.
Based on what some other people have said, the answer would be no. But
right.
Bigger, more vendors, and a bigger space. Not sure if that could happen in this small town unless you rent a building. Better advertisement. It was luck I saw the advertisement.
Well, that's the thing too, is that like I asked Mark, we went a couple days early to meet with the security guard, and I was looking at the sign, and I was like, that's really odd. There's nothing for Kaboom-Con on this signage, that the electronic billboard they have out front.
Mm-hmm.
And Mark was like, yeah, I know. I turned in like 3 different things to him to get it up there, and they said it would work. So one of the big issues was like, okay, then what would work? That would have been more effective than this doesn't work.
Well, and especially comparing to some of the things I saw up on there, I'm not sure why what I was giving them wouldn't work.
Yeah.
More people, more shoppers.
Thanks, because yeah.
I hope more booths are added, more artists, and more quality cosplayers and famous people would be cool too.
It all takes money.
I'm not certain what needs to be done differently. I think the idea is there, and this con is just in its infancy as far as how long it's been around. I could see maybe the location doing a disservice to the attendance. If the venue stays the same, there needs to be so much more large, vibrant signage for attendees to know where things are in the building. I think while difficult, the Kaboom-Con team will have to vet who their vendors are moving forward a little harsher. The 3D printed dragon vendors are getting a bit oversaturated. NA, prices were outrageous and there were no accommodations for vendors. I'm not sure what they mean by no accommodations for vendors.
I don't either. And prices being outrageous. I mean, honestly, it was again one of the cheaper cons you could go to.
Yeah. I feel like there was a good social media presence, but maybe more or a billboard, maybe more teaser on social media or contest giveaways to entice more people to come.
We were doing all that crap.
Smash the artist alley into the main area. Artists hate when the artist alley is in a separate room or area. Smaller walkways for customers are not a huge deal and can create bottlenecks that can create business opportunities for vendors and artists. This can also make the place feel more lively.
Problem is fire marshal issues. So
yeah, one of the things we did try to do in the gym last year and this year as well is to make sure that the alleyways in the gym were large enough that people could pass side by side instead of
excuse me type deal. Yeah.
Could we have done more narrow alleyways? Yes, we could.
But we also wanted to make sure we had. I mean, I think they're wide enough to like 2 wheelchairs could pass each other.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we made it that way, because we want to make sure that people who want to come to the event can come to the event, no matter the disability. And it's accessible. I mean, yes, we did have the issue with the ramps and such, but like the wheelchair elevator was working. We did have it on, um, and things like that. So I mean, yeah. Excuse me.
Next up, what types of guests, panels, or activities would you most like to see added in future years? Literally any celebrity.
Yeah, well,
What's a celebrity?
Yeah, I mean that's the thing, is even when we tried to, we reached out to a number of these places that could give us get us celebrities, and the prices were kind of outrageous.
Yeah. I'd also like to see an artist alley that wasn't insulting to the people in it. I would like to see events that actually have more attendees than volunteers.
Yeah,
I'd like to see reasonable ticket prices and reasonable vendor accommodations. Again, I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
I have a laundry list of things I would improve if I were returning.
Okay. Did they give you that laundry list?
No.
Okay.
The same person is the one that said literally what would you like to see done differently in the future? Literally everything. This was the most disappointing event I've been to. This is the same person that also goes on to say, any additional comments or suggestions? Remove Mark. The bridges burn could melt glaciers. So I don't know who this is, but like, I think they need a hug. I'd like to see reasonable ticket prices, reasonable vendor accommodations, blah, blah. Okay, NA. Yeah. Next up, what types of guest panels or activities? Supernatural, of course. Maybe ask some of your displayed and vendors to act less clicky. My sons and I would have loved to take more pictures. Felt like we were intruding at most tables. Interesting. Signs so I know where to go. I'm not sure what guest panel or activity that is, but okay. NA. If you were able to get a very popular or current celebrity, that might increase the turnout. Possibly some celebrity speakers would draw. Admittedly, I wanted to attend many of the events offered this year, but was unable to due to having to man my table alone and then rush home to care for sick family. I think the events offered were great. Again, a more effective way of advertising needs to be found. Like I said, something needs to draw a crowd, even if it's bringing in more activities from community places like dance studios, martial arts. I feel like last year that the theater was also empty when all the stuff was going on. Look into anniversaries, maybe something Harry Potter or Goonies. Both had anniversaries this year. More room for artists, creators, vendors, more room for panels and events if possible, more signage. Okay. A la carte option for the gym bazaar. Love to see smaller creators or cosplayers put on panels and cosplay. Pop-up taiko drum session with me and pre-signed participants. I'm going to guess that the person who wrote that one must be Dave Gonzalez from Return of the Jedi, Akrev, because he's the taiko drum. If there were enough interest, it might be cool to have one or two workshops where attendees can learn to do something from our local artists or vendors. For example, learn to play a tabletop game.
We had an entire game room for that.
Yeah. More retro video games and board games to play. Actually, interestingly enough, I was approached on Sunday about...
Just that.
Yeah, so... Yeah. I'm not really the one to ask. Okay. Face painting would be cool. Little kids would probably get caught up in the moment of wanting to look like their favorite character. Maybe music outdoors.
We did have face painting.
Not on Saturday.
Oh,
There's not much that can be done with the location, but proper signage, maps of the area, and labels to certain buildings are absolutely necessary. Advertising more than just on Facebook is needed and earlier on. Unfortunately, most of the target demographic has moved on from Facebook, television, radio. I feel like there was a missed opportunity with working with local groups like Battleborn Hema, the Academy. We had them last year. If there could be a vetting process for the vendors, artists as well to prevent overcrowding, that would be better. Cosplay panels, topical panels about things going on in the world and how they relate to pop culture. More organized vendor get together, definitely bring back the movie screenings and the stunt booth, add free sketches from special guests to the raffle. That's hard. That's hard to do. One, because any sketch that's going to come from one of those special guests is going to take longer than the convention, and so it would have to be something you'd get after the fact.
yeah.
And my gut tells me that's not probably what the person meant, but
Yeah.
don't focus on activities. Fix the issues with dishonesty and transparency.
What?
This was the person from before that was
Yeah.
saying that
Right.
we lied about everything.
Yeah.
No suggestions. More food vendors. Email coming soon. Recognizable names. More pop culture. Not all anime and artists.
What?
I'm guessing they meant if we're going to bring in recognizable names to not bring in anime and artists.
Whatever.
I want to see next year's movie theme be Galaxy Quest. That's specific.
It's very specific.
If it's a Comic-Con, as close to an A-list anime film, etc. name would help attract more people.
Well, again, those things cost a lot of money.
Well, especially an A-lister.
Yeah.
I mean,
jeez. I mean, unless we become friends with one who's willing to come out, like,
yeah. Cosplay panels would be nice. Voice actors would also be cool and draw attention. All that was fine. I know Carson isn't going to have a big comic book draw, so whatever gets them in the door. More comic book artists on the main floor or expand the artist alley would be great. I can't expand that room. Maybe feature some voice actors or more comic book guests in the lineup. Would be cool to see animation screenings in the side room or maybe interactive panels for guests that let them draw or create their own takeaway, like how to make a mini comic or zine or how to draw your own comic book splash page. Okay. More movie and TV show guests, maybe a bigger band. Background music, it felt quiet when it wasn't busy, too quiet. The different areas, rooms weren't labeled well. Cult classic film panels, cartoon panel, superhero panel, more actors and comic book artists, more toy vendors, both retro, modern, and designer. More gaming like D&D, Warhammer.
No, we had a Warhammer, I know.
A fan art contest. Tried that last year.
Yeah, we tried that. And it didn't.
We had a total of 0 entries last year.
Yeah.
Car show on a select day of the con. Okay.
A what?
A car show.
Okay.
Voice actors for games and animated movies. I don't know. More interactive activities, better kid area, less. Wasn't there music playing last year? I think it was Kyber. Maybe. I'm not sure. I don't remember there being music last year, but
I think the guys from Distance Nerding were playing some music.
More interactive activities, better kid area, less of the same type of vendors. Example, one tumble vendor, one 3D print, etc., not including the comic or gaming guys.
It's kind of hard because,
More games, more panels, more music. Customers. Okay, fair. Uh, any panel, guest, or activity would be awesome. I really enjoyed the cosplay contest and the live prop making demonstration. Those were clearly the most well attended events and brought great energy. In the future, I think it would help to focus more on these kinds of interactive crowd drawing activities on the main stage rather than spreading things out into smaller panel rooms for side performances. Unfortunately, I saw some panels and even the DJ sets happening to almost empty rooms. DJ sets? Which was tough. If you bring, maybe they're referring to JD Charisma.
Yeah,
If you bring in panels or guest speakers again, I'd recommend scheduling them on the main stage between bigger events so they benefit from the built-in audience.
Well, the problem is that people weren't coming into the. We were making announcements and people still weren't showing up. So
possibly some hands-on activities for kids. Fair. More actors, more food options, and would love to see more photo ops. Panels specifically on comics, graphic novels, creating, publishing, editing, publishers. Don't know. Has anyone gotten bed bugs on a cruise? And if so, what did they do? I'm at guest services being a Karen. They didn't want to change the room, but I got that taken care of and they are washing their clothes. What can I demand as far as refunds and such? Celebration is the ship, and they are in the family harbor deck 4. Here's the pictures. Also, I'm reading this. Also, we have not been to the beach. They got bitten first night on board, and we have 9 rooms, and they are the only ones getting bitten. Has anyone gotten bed bugs on a cruise? And if so, what do they do? Just keeps repeating.
Oh, yeah, no, we don't need to. What?
I don't know.
Oh, Steve checked in.
I personally prefer not having licensed music loudly in the public areas as it gets you copyright strikes on platforms and can reduce people's social uploads. That's very specific, but it's a bit of a pet peeve for me. And from that perspective, I absolutely get that. It's obviously hard to avoid having licensed music. So having no music is better. Let's see. Next up, cosplayer guests are fantastic. Keep doing that. Indie filmmaking panels are great. Prop making, costuming panel. Star Wars.
We had a Star Wars guy.
Guests other than unknown artist would be better. Just because you don't know them,
yeah,
they're unknown.
Yeah, like Donna Gio, some of the stuff he's worked on. Chris Moranin, Brent Anderson, Odin. I mean, like he's got a lot of followers. We had Steven. We had I can't remember everybody, but like a lot of these people have been around for a while. A lot of people knew them. And so, yeah, I didn't know some of them right off the bat, but I got to know them. So therefore, then I knew them.
I think the show is headed in the right direction with what it has going on already. I know celebrity signings can be a huge draw, even if it's something I'm not into. And Tyra says you can legally play music, just not over a sound system. You can play with speakers, no problem. I'm not sure I understood that statement. You can legally play music, just not over a sound system. How else would you play it?
I mean, are you talking about just on your phone and you have like a little speaker at your booth?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
That's the only thing I can think of, but yeah.
And also, I mean, Steve's point is more of if you tried to
posting stuff, then you have to deal with.
Yeah.
I feel you. They have like the music that they have, like there's music that is on, like when you're uploading a video on like Instagram, there's like songs you can choose from that are on there, but those are like licensed. They allow that music to be used.
Yeah. So last thing, any additional comments or suggestions? Nope. Just because I'm an old guy doesn't mean I'm a creep. Just wanted to have fun with my sons and engage with people that like the same stuff. Fortunately, my boys had a good time.
What?
Less AI art.
Again, we like if there was AI art, we needed to know about it because that's like we put out there.
I unfortunately didn't stay very long. I was surprised that there wasn't much participation compared to last year. There was a free event in Reno during the same time frame, so that may have had something to do with lower turnout. We enjoyed the event and hope you can build on it in the future. Thank you. Advertising is the number one problem for just about every event like this. I wish I knew the best answer, but I do wish you and Kaboom-Con good fortune in the coming years. No, this is interesting. Advertising is not an issue. I will give you that. You guys advertise like crazy year round. So I know attendance this year was not your fault and more the combined and free in Reno events that were going on over the weekend. Plus, the state of the economy is helping none of us. I have already addressed non vendor businesses in other responses, some with lack of good signage. My two biggest complaints are takeaways from this event would have me stepping up as a coordinator, vendor event staff who were there with their children. There are parents who take their kids to events and have no problems, and there are parents who let them roam free and cause absolute chaos and headaches to other vendors and attendees. Having been to conventions as both a vendor and attendee, children running around unattended in and out of the aisles, tables, etc., and just generally screaming and being a danger to everyone around them are unpleasant. Same goes with the children who are there with staff, vendors who consistently harass the other vendors and beg for free items. I know it's not going to be pleasant, but staff vendors need to talk to their kids and have them behave better in the future. If they're bored, take them elsewhere or home or to someone else, please. The final issue that stood out to me was the incident that happened 2 hours or so before closing on Sunday with the owner of the Star Trek Captain Kirk chair. I do not know if he was the owner of the business Dreamwell Comics, an employee, or simply a friend of the people there with the booths. His reaction to what happened to his chair was disproportionate, inappropriate, and unacceptable in all forms. All I was able to gather was that two preteen teen boys accidentally broke a light button panel on the chair, and from what I heard, were trying to say something and apologize. Obviously, I did not witness what they actually did, but it's hard not to stop and stare when the man who owned it immediately started screaming and accusing them of doing it on purpose or any other manner of thing. He should have been well aware there is a level of risk taking those beloved items out for public use and screaming at someone, adult or child, because it was broken accidentally is not a good look for the man or the event. Were I coordinator, he would not be asked back, or if it were earlier in the weekend, to leave altogether. Thank you. Hopefully next year will go better and the economy and attendance will improve for all of us. That was a well-rounded thought. A la carte options to different events. Okay. Personally would love
Did
to
have that too.
Personally would love to have cosplay guests that are smaller and not as popular, but still with lots of experience.
Huh?
Because they usually have lots of cool opportunities to connect on a more personal level with attendees. Would also love more pop culture and current trends in anime, movie, TV shows, etc. as a theme, or to correlate with the event somehow, maybe even a cosplay talent show. Great energy from staff and crew. Keep up the great work and the community spirit. Having the hours of the event each day showing with the dates on the website.
We didn't have those.
Along with what will be available.
Hmm?
The dates and times of panels were clear, but the hours for when the general event was running were less so. I think it was on the flyer.
It was on the flyer, and it was also on the website too. So,
When looking at the vendors on the website, it would be helpful to have the vendor names written along with their graphics. I agree. Vendors, when you're making a graphic, include your name on your graphic. But yes, I get their point. For next year or next time, you know, if the logo doesn't include, I guess I can put it. I was just trying to make it simple. Here's your logo. Here's with a link to their stuff. But
Yeah.
I've only looked at it on the mobile, but they're cluttered together in a way that makes them difficult to see where one ends and another starts. People with low vision or color blindness also may not be able to read many of the graphics since they don't have great color contrast between the text and the backgrounds. Separate text would be helpful. Thanks for the fun con. Attendance is the biggest thing. I'd rather pay more as a vendor than to have so many small booths crammed into a small gym. Last year was a little too open. This year was way too bunched up. Also, rules as to what vendors can bring would be a good idea. Tents and wire walls that are 10 feet high really make small footprint vendors feel insignificant and hard to find. It's already hard enough with small attendance. Some uniformity would go a long way. Have you given up there, James?
No, I was actually just looking at the website to see what. I just went back to see what was on there as far as like why people couldn't figure it out. I don't know.
Possibly offer more on the last day or charge the final day price, or a 3 days in one wristband option.
Like a dynamite pass?
Maybe. While I laid out some comments, I think some bridges of local artists and vendors were burned with the amount of disrespect they encountered. Slamming tables, being pushed out to pack up early.
Who was doing that? We weren't pushing anybody out.
Being crammed into a small room with no signage. It isn't even about the low attendance as long as the convention staff are pleasant and ensuring the attendees, which include vendors, have a good time. That means a lot for the convention as a brand. An apology or proven steps to make the con better would do much to help the perception of the con at the moment. There were some nice volunteers or staff members, but for the most part, it felt like this should have been community's first year for a convention rather than its second. I guess I'm confused because the event ended at 5. None of the tables were being taken down or anything until 5. So, yeah, not sure.
We weren't pushing anybody out.
No,
people were packing up and leaving, but
people were leaving on their own.
Yeah, we weren't pushing anybody out.
Yeah, I didn't. I mean, I can tell you, we had a vendor there that didn't even finish up until 8, and nobody said a word to them. Nobody said, "Hey, hurry up" or anything.
Yeah, they were getting all their stuff together, and we were just working around them to get what we needed to get up, and so.
Tara said, "I asked if they were wearing vendor wristbands, but that's it. I didn't ask anyone to leave." If possible, maybe next time have a map of the convention at the convention, like when you go to the mall. The community center is big and meandering, and some places could have been missed. If you make significant changes to improve next year, make sure you communicate with the vendors. Although I had a ton of fun and there were many cool elements to enjoy, there wasn't enough foot traffic to make back the financial investment. I'd love to return if you found a way to make it more profitable for all of us. That's fair.
Yeah.
I think I've said all I need to say. None. I don't believe the lack of participation was all on the organizer. Unfortunately, there were too many competing events on the same weekend, and some of them booked after Kaboom-Con dates were chosen. Sometimes there isn't much that can be done about that. I don't think Carson is the best location personally. As a vendor, I am unlikely to return to Carson, as every event there has never reached the foot traffic levels of Reno. The outdoor vendors and food trucks really had a rough time with their plot placement and lack of signage and minimal vendor activity. I wish I had been made aware there were only 4 outdoor vendors total because all 4 may have chosen to pool participation. Email coming soon. None. Nope. All the events are great and all, but it needs to be more focused. Have the music, panels, cosplay in the main room so everyone sees and hears it. More signs, direct people where to go, or maybe hand out with map where stuff is and when stuff is. I want to see the event grow. It was a fun time as a guest. I got to see a lot of old friends. I heard the same complaints over and over again. Tables were too expensive for not a great turnout. Not many artists made money back, let alone travel and product costs. I think better dates, not having other events on the same weekend. I can't control that.
Yeah.
And better advertising outside the immediate area would do wonders. If the budget is there next year, money prizes for the contest will also draw in better competition and more participants. Not at this time. I had a great time at the event, and there was a lot to see and enjoy. I think the only thing it needed was more people, as they missed out on a bunch of great artists, guests, and goodies. It's only the second event, so it's always a hit or miss item on getting foot traffic, but perhaps more incentives for families or the community to step in can drive that. Perhaps bulk family discounts or bring donations to a local community as means of entry. Overall, I hope for a third Kaboom-Con and wish it has more success each time because Northern Nevada and Carson needs more events like this. Try to get more youth and kids involved. Where there's kids, there's money being spent. Art contests, arcade gaming. None at this time. Less or no vendors that are out of convention context or better placement of them. Vendors pay a high booth space. There should have been no charge to the public to come shop. Without the vendors, this event wouldn't be possible, and it killed foot traffic that could have come from the farmers market, park attendees, and folks driving by. If you need to charge for events otherwise, man the door for tickets to the other events. Not quite sure I understood. I thought I understood it first, but I don't understand there in the end. All booth fees should be the same rate. Better explanation or other vendors attending, and remember all vendors talk. Might consider you again in 5 years or so if I hear things have improved. Get it bigger, get it on the radio, anything would be good. Overall, I think the event has a lot of potential. It already had some strong elements like the cosplay contest and prop making demos, which were engaging and fun. For next year, I'd focus on a few key areas: lowering base ticket price, making it more family friendly and increase attendance, adding clear signage outside to attract passerby, consolidating programming to the main stage. Every event feels well attended, and improving food options with vegetarian and vegan choices. I'd also recommend expanding outreach beyond Carson by tapping into Reno, Tahoe, and surrounding communities through media, schools, and fan groups. With these adjustments, I think attendance overall could really grow. Thank you for all of your hard work. Can't wait till next year. While having the CTA tax to use is nice, Kaboom isn't quite big enough yet for a 3-day event. A better advertised 1-day event would be great. While having the CTA tax is nice to use. I'm not sure what that means. Do you? Not that I can think of as a great event. I hope it gets bigger and larger and better. I'm no expert, but if you guys want help in any capacity, planning, signage, design work, whatever, let me know. I'd like to help. I do appreciate all your hard work that goes into putting on an event like this. I'm sorry it wasn't what you anticipated, but I'm confident it will be more successful next year. Great work on the show, guys. I know it didn't go the way you'd planned, but don't get discouraged. You guys are clearly putting in the work to make this look good. I look forward to seeing where you guys go next. Hope to see you next year.
Cool.
So, those are just some of the respondents and some of the questions and some of the answers. And, um, you know, at the end of the day, some people will hear our thoughts and our responses to what we've just read and think, um, wow, they're not taking it seriously. And it's like, no, we take this very seriously. It's that
there's not,
as we said before I started reading any of this, it's easy to armchair quarterback on after the event, right? And all along the way, we've been asking for help. We've been saying, hey, who wants to step up? Who wants to get involved? Who wants to engage? And we do want to get better. We want to keep bringing this event and potentially other events, but it is very hard to pull off with the very small group of people that we have that are committed. And, you know, it's very, very limited resources as well. So,
yeah,
you know, I can tell you we are thinking through what a next event would look like. And I don't think I read anything in any of those comments that weren't things that we had already said or thought.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the challenge is really trying to figure out the right solutions. You know, the short answer is we go to Reno. That's how we increase the foot traffic, right?
Yeah.
But that doesn't. All that does is add another one of these types of events to Reno, which is already oversaturated.
Right.
So I don't think that's good for anyone. So, you know, the short answer is, you know, somebody asked me flat out, you know, will there be one next year? I don't know. Right now, I don't know. I'm not saying no. I'm not saying yes, there will. It's more of a we've got to really take the time to digest and analyze these things before we take another step forward. We need to look at all options because, as far as I'm concerned, all options are on the table. You know, maybe the community center isn't the right space. Maybe we need to look at somewhere else. There's not a ton of options in Carson, though, or even the surrounding areas.
Yeah.
You know, someone mentioned outdoor spaces like Fuji Park, for example. And those are great for one-day events. But a lot of these vendors
wouldn't come out for a one-day event.
Well, not only that, but wouldn't want to do a multi-day event outdoors.
Yeah.
Because for most of them, they're not going to leave their product up overnight. And so that basically means you're tearing down and setting up every day.
Yeah.
So, you know, I don't personally envision outdoor being a viable solution. So I don't know. I will say, you know, there was, I think, maybe a total of 2 people, maybe 3, that responded in ways that said that they want to help. They'd like to be involved in being a part of the solution. So, you know,
make sure to reach out to those people. Make sure to reach out to them.
Yeah. And I would say, you know, to anybody watching this right now, I mean, we're easily accessible. Kaboom-Convention@gmail.com. Let us know your thoughts and how you want to help, because we want to make this thing better. Again, we didn't make any money on this. We're not doing this to make money. We are doing this to provide an opportunity to local small businesses as well as to provide an event for the community. Um, so, it looks like Steve sent a picture link over to the Instagram. So I'm looking to see if I can grab that. Let's see. Do. Pulling it up. Awesome. Looks like the link is working. I love how I go to the link and one of the first things it says, try AI directly for your favorite apps, especially after the comments about AI. And no, that's not from Steve. It's
No, it's right.
the Google Drive.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going to have to download these and put together a little package. So thank you, Steve, for getting that sent over. So yeah, I think, if anybody listened to Pop Culture Kaboom Sunday night, you probably heard me talking then. And I am pretty downtrodden over this whole thing. I am very disappointed in, the community because I don't think they came out, and they could have. They came out last year. And I'm not mad at the community. I just don't, Jimmy says it all the time on his show that if you don't come out and support these events, they may not come back. And, there's only so much a business can lose before it can't continue to do it, right? So, and Steve does confirm that he is AI, so that's cool. Good to know.
I knew he was too good to be true.
What do you expect, right? At the end of the day, whenever something is too good to be true, it must be AI, right?
It must be.
And that's what worries me is if some people thought that some of these artists were AI because they're good.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Oh,
we made like Mark said, we made sure like that was in the application. Like we didn't want any of the AI stuff. Yeah.
That was the
day 2 cosplay winners.
Yeah, Sunday. I loved the Batman and Robin.
Yeah, old school. Beast Boy was pretty dope.
Let's see if we can. That's with our special guest cosplayers. Shout out Gummy V4, Astros here, and Thea Calix.
Yeah.
That was the jazz ensemble from Reno Video Game Symphony. Valley Eats. Kona Ice.
Same thing.
That was the boardroom where we had some panels and presentations. Terror Dog Squad in the house.
Yeah.
These must be super high res. This looks like a shot from the gaming room. Not sure what game's being played there. Oh, it looks like Star Wars Unlimited. Looks like somebody either had just bought a box or maybe that was one of the prizes. Fantastic World Steamboat Willie issue 1 cover teaser. Some of the items for sale in the game room. This was night 1 cosplay winner for the Ghostbusters 2 screening. Demo games. Some folks dressed up. That was Alex DeLuca's booth.
Yeah.
Donna Gio hiding in the background. Buttons. Button. Who's got the button? Icy Sound Comics. Terror Dog. I'm not sure. I think that's Mega Negi. I'm not sure who that is. The Mecha Godzilla.
Yeah.
Over at Odin Makes. Not sure. Looks like a lot of anime stickers. Crystal Gonzalez in the dark.
Yeah.
She was great.
Yeah, she was awesome.
This was Salem's booth. A lot of stickers, patches. Seth Singleton, storyteller. Spencer Stoner. This was the front desk kind of entry where you'd get your tickets. You can see we've got the free art prints, bags of popcorn provided by Galaxy Theater. Some raffle prize. I'm sorry, sweepstakes prizes in the background.
Yeah.
This was Dragonbird Crafts, I believe. This was the Terror Dog Squad panel. This was inside the Artist Alley. Nocturnal Inks, I believe. And this is all just going off of memory. So Creepy Sweets, and not only because I saw the sign up there. This is Retro Replay, a lot of old school video games. Kaboom-Con cups. These were from the Masquerade Ball that we ended up giving away on Sunday from the leftovers we had. James, was this day one? Was this Saturday, I think?
Yeah.
JD Charisma. That's your boy. Sure we do. There's not that many. Ugh. Okay, we'll end it there. Great cosplay, but man. Actually, the funny thing is there was only like 6 more shots after that.
Oh.
Anyways, we'll get some stuff put together, and thank you again, Steve, for all of that.
Definitely appreciate you, bro.
So yeah, we will be taking some time to really, think about.
We have some wounds to lick.
For sure. Here.
Yeah, you're still here.
Oh, it said I lost connection.
Oh.
I think there's a lot that we need to, if we're going to do this again, there's a lot of things that need to get lined up before we commit to it.
Yeah.
One of those being we need help. We need, more people that want to step up and really think of creative ways to make this thing better. Because, truth be told, everything up to day of, or even day before day of, 90+% of everything that gets done is me. All of the organizing, all of the, website, all of the, figuring out Eventbrite, Eventany, and social media posting and everything. That's me. And reality is I can't do it all. Things fall through the cracks. Things fell through the cracks. And yeah. So any final thoughts, James?
No, I mean, we were that's the thing, is that we were very hopeful with this year because of the turnout that we had for year one. And apparently, I don't know, there's a number of things people said that, could have been a factor. Like when we planned this, there wasn't any other events that, that's why we planned it when we did. So, like somebody said, there was other events that happened and we'd already planned it out. So it wasn't like we were like, oh, we're gonna do it this weekend and there's a free event going on. We had no idea. So, I mean, the main thing is that we can only try. Um, we hope that you people that came, hopefully you stick with us and rock with us through the growing pains. It's gonna be tough at times, but if we keep you know growing together, we good.
Yeah.
So that's all we can do. I mean, if you have a suggestion of another place, like if there's an indoor place that can handle something like this, let us know. If hey, if you're friends with a celebrity that's willing to come out to something like this, let us know. You know, that don't want to, arm, leg, and possibly kidney to show up. So that's the main thing. We wanted to get we that's what the one of the things we wanted to get some main, not huge names, but some names that lined up with the event and everything else. But it would cost us too much, basically.
Hmm.
So, I mean, if you know people that are semi-famous, um, you know, get us in contact with them. If you have connections there, if have connections to businesses in the area and want help can help us out. We love that, but you know
And we got Kitsune's Treasure checking in. I don't know what TBF is, James.
probably, to be frank.
Ah, fair. To be frank, event crossover happens a lot. I would like to see it continue through the growing pains, and I really do think the economy isn't helping anyone this year. I also had a bad run at GalaxyCon San Jose this year. The people were kind of there, the money was not. Can you afford the Reno Con Center? Uh,
That-
Short answer is yes,
but
but that also means
that's another thing in Reno, which you know, that's one of the main reasons we do it in Carson is because like I when I'm calling business in the area and I'm telling about Kaboom-Con, we are the first and only con in Carson City.
yeah. So short answer is yes. We could absolutely do the Reno Sparks Convention Center, but that also means likely it being. And Kitsune, I know you were at Silver Age Comic Con this year. I was there as a vendor with Icy Sound Comics, and I don't know about you, but I was pretty disappointed with the way it went. It In order to do a space like that, it then becomes just a cattle call of vendors, right? You've got 150 to 300 vendors in a hall, and I feel like to a degree, um, it loses the community feel, which is, and I use the phrase organizer. I am not a promoter where I feel like I know Dave Hallworth, who's the promoter for Silver Age and for the other Colossus Royal Entertainment events. I feel like he is a promoter. He puts on these events. He brings in big names. I like to think of myself more of a organizer because I'm trying to organize community events. Um, Kitsune says, so I guess if you ever outgrow Carson, it's an option. I was disappointed more as a vendor with the money not being spent. At least we're not AX with 900 plus artists. Yeah. And that's, I think you have very valid points. And, just like, I don't know how long you've been watching, but, I've said here that we, as organizing this event, lost a lot of money. And, um, I don't, when I'm planning these things out, I don't purely rely on ticket sales to supplement, and I don't purely rely on vendor booth sales. Ultimately, I try to find a healthy price point for all, um, because you know we we're vendors, right? When we're doing icy sound stuff, and so there are events that we don't go to because we feel like they're too expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we went to Fan Expo in San Francisco last year, um, and it was pretty expensive. And the result of us attending there wasn't a net positive between the hotel in San Francisco um, and the booth space and everything. It ended up being a net loss, and so it was like, are we going to go back this year? Probably not. Um, and so, do I recognize from a vendor perspective that Kaboom-Con was not good this year? Yeah, I do. I will not begrudge a single vendor that doesn't come back because they didn't make money this year. I get it. Um, all I can tell you is that if we do a Kaboom-Con 3, we will do better. That is my commitment, to always do better and to learn from what we've done previously. And yeah.
Yeah.
Understandable, running a con is hard work. I staffed for Snafu one year, just helping in registration. It was bonkers. What needs done that people never see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, James, how many times did I pull you into a back room during Kaboom-Con to like yell at you? um, you know, it's it is stressful. It is frustrating, and especially as I've already said here, when we are doing it with really a very small handful of people that care and want to help.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, uh, and I can literally count on two hands the amount of dedicated people that helped on Kaboom-Con this year. Um, that's not to say that there weren't other volunteers that showed up to put in some hours to watch a door or put in some hours. Those people matter too, but really the core group of people that worked all 3 days, start to end, and other things in advance of that. It's less than 10.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I don't that the question about could we afford Reno Convention Center? We could. I don't know how we could pull it off though. Like the logistics of you know doing it, uh, especially there's no way with 10 people, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, and honestly, again, like it's just the main thing is that I mean, I've gone to things at the Reno Convention Center, and like some have been really good, some of them haven't been so great, but at the same time, again, I think just being, I don't know, I just feel like Carson City, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to stand out from everything else. I mean, so.
Well, I think I'm talked out for now on this topic. I need some time to you know soul search.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, also, I mean, let's not make sure we don't lose contact with those people that said they were willing to help. Let's make sure we reach out to them soon. Reach out to them early, and then let's see if we can't get them. Kitsu, if you're interested in helping us out, we'd love to help, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, all right. Well, I think we can call this one good.
Yup.
We will be back next week on same bat time, same bat channel.
Wait,
What?
are you gonna do it on vacation? Wait.
I don't leave until next Saturday.
Oh, okay.
So next week we'll still have a show, but the week after that I will be on a cruise ship somewhere in the middle of the Pacific. So,
Well, not really in the middle of the Pacific.
I mean, it's quite literally in the middle of the Pacific.
Well, yeah, but it's you're island jumping at that point in time. So
Yes, but my statement was correct.
yeah, I guess.
I hate you sometimes. So much. All right. Let's call this good, and we'll be back next week, 8 p.m. Woo! 8 p.m. next Wednesday.
Yeah.
That and Black Connection. We'll be back.
Peace out.
See you real soon.